Welcome to Dolphin Dive Daily, your go-to spot for everything Miami Dolphins. If you bleed aqua and orange, hit that subscribe button and join the pod. The Miami Dolphins have received some unfortunate news regarding their search for a new star cornerback. ESPN's Rob Demovsky and NFL insider Adam Schefter have confirmed that the Green Bay Packers and Pro Bowl cornerback Jaire Alexander may come to a resolution that will keep Alexander in Green Bay. This comes despite previous reports that suggested Alexander could be traded or released. With the Dolphins already planning to move on from Jalen Ramsey, Alexander had been one of the names linked to filling his shoes. However, this latest development leaves the Dolphins in a difficult position as they look for a new leader in their secondary. The Dolphins had made their intentions clear during the NFL draft, choosing not to select a cornerback until the 5th round. This pointed to their desire for a veteran and experienced player to step in and fill the role. Alexander, a two-time Pro Bowler and All-Pro second-team honoree, seemed like the ideal candidate. Despite only playing in 7 games last season due to a PCL injury in his right knee, Alexander is still considered one of the top cornerbacks in the league when healthy. Had Alexander been available, he would have been the perfect shutdown corner to replace Ramsey. His ability to lock down opposing receivers is widely regarded as elite. But with the latest news that Alexander could stay in Green Bay, the Dolphins must now turn their attention elsewhere. The free agency pool is filled with players past their primes or young and proven talents. But there is one name that stands out as a potential fit for the Dolphins: Asante Samuel Jr. Asante Samuel Jr. has been a standout player for the Los Angeles Chargers, proving himself to be one of the team's best cornerbacks over the past few seasons. Although a neck and shoulder injury kept him out for most of last season, his first 3 years in the NFL were impressive. Samuel recorded 163 tackles, 6 interceptions, 35 pass deflections, 3 tackles for loss, and a fumble recovery. At just 25 years old, Samuel will turn 26 early in the upcoming season, making him a prime candidate for the Dolphins. The Dolphins could take advantage of Samuel's youth and experience, locking him down on a long-term deal. He has already played in a playoff game and has shown he can handle the pressure of big moments. With his potential still on the rise, Samuel could become a cornerstone of the Dolphins' defense for years to come. This makes him the most viable free agent target for Miami, and one that could prove to be a valuable addition to the team's roster. Besides free agency, the Dolphins are also considering trade options for their cornerback replacement. Several names have emerged in trade rumors, including Deommodore Lenoir, Denzel Ward, and Jamal Dean. Lenoir's future with the 49ers is uncertain as the team potentially shifts to a rebuild, which could make him available for trade. Meanwhile, Dean has been a prominent name in trade discussions throughout the offseason, and Ward's name is always a wild card in any trade conversation. The possibility of trading for one of these players could offer the Dolphins more flexibility, but it also comes with risks. Acquiring a player through trade often means giving up valuable assets, whether it be draft picks or other players. The Dolphins will need to weigh the costs and benefits of making such a move, but adding a cornerback to the roster is becoming more and more essential for their success. With Ramsey's departure looming, finding a suitable replacement is quickly turning into a top priority for the team. The Dolphins' current situation at cornerback leaves them thin at the position, and with each passing day, the urgency to bring in a reliable and capable replacement grows. They have already made significant moves in the offseason to improve other areas of the team, but the lack of a solid cornerback could prevent them from being true contenders. While the team has shown they want to compete at a high level, without a top-tier cornerback, they will face serious challenges on defense. Miami's decision to part ways with Jalen Ramsey has been in the works for a while now, and it is likely that the team already has a plan in place to replace him. The news regarding Jaire Alexander's potential stay in Green Bay has added a layer of uncertainty to the Dolphins' plans, but it also serves as a reminder of the challenges the team faces as they attempt to retool their defense. The front office will now need to act quickly to bring in a cornerback who can fill the void left by Ramsey. With the market for cornerbacks becoming increasingly competitive, the Dolphins will need to make a smart move. They cannot afford to take a risk on a player who may not be ready to step in immediately. Whether it's through free agency or trade, the Dolphins must ensure they bring in a cornerback who can contribute right away and help elevate their defense to the next level. It's a crucial decision that could shape the team's chances in the upcoming season. As the offseason progresses, all eyes will be on the Dolphins and their pursuit of a cornerback to replace Jalen Ramsey. Whether they succeed in landing a proven veteran like Asani Samuel Jr. or opt for a trade with another team, the Dolphins' next move will be pivotal. In the highly competitive AFC, Miami needs a solid defense to compete with the best, and finding the right cornerback will be key to their success in the 2025 season. The clock is ticking, and it's only a matter of time before we see which direction the Dolphins will go. Still with us? Then show some love. Hit that like button and let us know in the comments. What's your take on the Fins this week? What if I told you that one of the most shocking quarterback moves in recent NFL history might be on the horizon? That the future Hall of Famer, four-time MVP, and polarizing icon of the league could be swapping New York green for Miami aqua? It might sound like a fever dream or a headline designed to bait clicks, but rumblings across the league are getting louder. Aaron Rodgers, yes, that Aaron Rodgers, is rumored to be considering a move to the Miami Dolphins. And if it happens, the NFL landscape would shift in ways we haven't seen in years. Let's start with the context. Rodgers joined the New York Jets in 2023 amid sky-high expectations. The franchise, desperate for a return to relevance after years of quarterback purgatory, put all their chips on the table. They brought in Nathaniel Hackett, reunited Rodgers with several of his trusted former teammates from Green Bay, and gave him the keys to a roster that many believed was only a quarterback away from real contention. But 4 snaps into his Jets debut, everything unraveled. Rodgers tore his Achilles, and the season spiraled into chaos. The Jets missed the playoffs again, and although Rodgers vowed a return, many wondered if that dream was already over. Fast forward to 2025, and the situation has become even murkier. Sources close to the organization suggest there's been growing tension behind the scenes. While publicly the Jets remain committed to Rodgers, internally there's concern. He's nearing 42, coming off a devastating injury, and still carries an enormous cap hit. On the other side, there's the Miami Dolphins, an explosive team with weapons galore, but questions lingering about the long-term future of Tua Tagovailoa. Tua had a solid 2024 campaign, but his inconsistency in the playoffs and persistent injury concerns have the Dolphins brass looking at contingency plans. And Rodgers, for all his baggage, represents a chance to go all in on a Super Bowl run. The idea of Rodgers joining the Dolphins sounds absurd on the surface. After all, he's only played one season, if you can even call it that, in New York. But when you consider his mindset, the pieces start to align. Rodgers has never been one to follow the script. From his controversial comments about vaccines to his ayahuasca retreats and flirtations with retirement, he marches to the beat of his own drum. If he feels the Jets are no longer the right fit, or if he sees a better opportunity to win elsewhere, don't think for a second that he wouldn't pull the trigger. And Miami is no ordinary opportunity. Imagine Rodgers throwing to Tyreek Hill and Jalen Waddle behind a solid offensive line, with Mike McDaniel scheming up plays tailored to his strengths. That offense would be terrifying. The Dolphins already possess one of the most dynamic attacks in the league, but they've lacked the kind of elite quarterback play that can take them over the top. Rodgers, even at 41, could still be that guy. His arm talent hasn't declined dramatically, and his football IQ is as sharp as ever. With a team ready to contend, the Dolphins might be one quarterback away from hoisting the Lombardi. From a financial standpoint, the deal would be complicated but not impossible. The Jets would take a significant dead cap hit, but they'd also clear future space and reset at quarterback, something they may be forced to do sooner rather than later. Meanwhile, Miami would likely need to restructure several contracts or even move Tua in a trade to make room. There's no denying it would be messy, but when has Rodgers ever been about clean exits? The real intrigue lies in how such a move would redefine two franchises. The Jets would once again find themselves searching for a signal caller in a brutal AFC East, and questions would be raised about the entire front office and coaching staff. Did they overcommit to Rodgers without a backup plan? Was the dream always doomed to fail? For Miami, the message would be loud and clear: we are going for it right now. This isn't about long-term development or building for the future. It's about maximizing the present window before Tyreek's speed fades, before the defense has to be broken up due to cap constraints, and before McDaniel's magic loses its surprise factor. Critics will scoff at the idea, pointing to Rodgers' age, his injury, and the fact that he's only committed to playing year by year. But that's the nature of NFL gambles. You don't always get 5 years. Sometimes you just need one great season to make it all worth it. Think about what Tom Brady did in Tampa. Nobody expected it to work so quickly, and yet it did. 1 year, one magical run, one title. Rodgers could provide that same spark in Miami. And let's not forget the drama. Rodgers in Miami would be must-watch television every single week. The media circus, the divisional matchups with the Jets, the headlines, the podcast appearances, it would be an NFL soap opera with Super Bowl implications. The Dolphins would go from playoff hopefuls to headline kings overnight. Of course, there are hurdles. Rodgers is still under contract with the Jets, and there's no indication yet that either side is actively pursuing a trade. But in the NFL, things change fast. A private conversation, a backdoor negotiation, a sudden change of heart. These are the dominoes that lead to blockbuster moves. And when it comes to Aaron Rodgers, anything is possible. He's unpredictable, enigmatic, and never content with the status quo. If the rumor proves true, and Rodgers really is eyeing South Beach, then buckle up. Because the NFL would never be the same again. The Dolphins would instantly become title contenders. The AFC East would become a war zone, and Rodgers would have a chance to write one final, unforgettable chapter to his already legendary career. Nothing is official yet. No press conference. No trade announcement. But the whispers are getting louder. And when it comes to a player like Aaron Rodgers, sometimes the whispers are all you need to know something big is coming. Whether it happens tomorrow or drags on into the summer, one thing's for sure. This story is far from over. And if Rodgers does end up a Dolphin, well, you better believe the entire NFL will be watching. That's a wrap for today's dive. If you're loving the content, share it with a fellow Dolphins fan, hit subscribe, and turn on notifications so you never miss a splash. Fins up.